like white folk. Say something, they may say nigger, but they love us like. I'm tired of these people feeling like white folk gotta say nigger to our face to be racist. We're beyond that. Just so you know. And Triple H is racist. I don't give a fuck if he did put the tag team championship on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And to further Triple H being racist, Barry, I need you to come up for a second, but just give me 1 second, real quick, just to show you how bad it is, right quick. I did a little bit of research, and I am going to go back and look at these PLEs before Triple H, because this may have been a trend before Triple H came into power. But let me just read this off real quick. These are all of the PLEs since Triple H took power. These are all of the black Americans and all of the melanated people, dark skinned melanated people that participated in these pay-per-views. All right. I want y'all to notice something, okay? The very first one in Detroit last year was SummerSlam 2023. Almost a Nigerian wrestled in a 25-man battle royal, a throwaway match. Apollo Crews, who is is he Nigerian too? Shit, I don't know. He's from Africa though, but he was in the battle royal, 25-man battle royal, and those were the only men, melanated men. There were no Black American men that wrestled at WWE SummerSlam last year. Bianca Belair is the only foundational Black American that wrestled at woman. She's the only foundational Black American woman, and she's the only foundational Black American that wrestled on the entire WWE SummerSlam. And she was in a triple threat match with Charlotte and Asuka, and she won the WWE Women's Championship before she lost it in 8 seconds via the Money in the Bank winner. Ilio Sky came out and cashed her Money in the Bank, and she was able to challenge for that championship and win. Now, I have no problem with that. I didn't have a problem. I have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem the year before when Bianca Belair lost to Becky Lynch in 26 seconds because the bitch came out of nowhere. She was gone for 6 months, and she come in, and this white woman flex her white supremacy. Oh, I got standings in this bitch. And at that time, Bianca Belair had a historic women's championship reign, and she had, after a historic women's championship win, and you ended with that bitch coming in flexing white supremacy. I kind of gave that up because at the end of the day, I'm a wrestling fan, and I understand this did lead back to Bianca Belair winning the women's championship at WrestleMania against Becky Lynch. It did make sense. But for this to be 2 years in a row and for her to be the only one representing foundational Black Americans on SummerSlam, which is WWE's second largest pay-per-view, PLE, what they call it now. Premium live event is what they call it now. So I'm gonna go back and forth, either pay-per-view or PLE. Y'all know I mean the same shit. But you do it for the second year in a row. This is like you purposely pulling these strings. You playing with these wrestlers like toys to make them look inferior to their white counterparts. Just to move on with this, the very next month, um, I was just making sure I'm not missing nothing. Yeah, I'm not making sure I'm not missing nothing with this. So, the very next month, Triple H second PLE without, second PLE on his own, having 100% creative control. There was not a single melanated person that wrestled on this program, and there was not a single foundational Black American that wrestled on this program. This was his second one. The third one is WWE Fastlane. And this is the very first PLE without Vince McMahon in complete power. The McMahon family had no major controlling shares in the WWE by the time this PLE came out. And this WWE Fastlane. And you got a melanated person, Bobby Lashley, who is a Hispanic, who is his mother is a Panamanian, and we don't know what his father is because they made it plain that his father, they said that his father was an American that served in the U.S. military, but he did not raise Bobby Lashley, and he was raised. Bobby Lashley was raised on his own by his mother, who is a full Panamanian woman, and she could not speak English. And since we don't know the true ethnicity of his father, I cannot call him a foundational black American. And I love Bobby Lashley. I have a hell of a respect for Bobby Lashley. I appreciate everything Bobby Lashley has done in this industry, but he does not represent me. And although I am happy for his success and I wish him the best in the future. But just to keep things in context, so I wouldn't stir no pots and none of that shit. I'm gonna say melanated people, just to keep the point going that even when you put these melanated people on the PLEs, they're still not great representation. Um, there was Bobby Lashley who teamed up with the Street Profits with Montez Ford, who is a foundational Black American, and Angelo Dawkins, who is a foundational Black American. And those two were the only foundational Black American on WWE Fastlane 2023. No melanated woman wrestled on that pay per view. No foundational Black American woman wrestled on that pay per view. We're going to notice a trend. I want y'all to pay attention from here. WWE Crown Jewel, the only foundational Black American and the only melanated person that wrestled on that program was Bianca Belair, and that was in the loss. This was in Saudi Arabia. And I want y'all to remember something too. When they have these PLEs, this is why it's important to me. When they have these PLEs, that's extra income. That is a bonus of a few $1,000s. So now you're looking at Black Americans being affected economically. They're only working off of their base salary, as to where white folk, Asians, and Hispanics and Samoans can come in and pull these bonus checks. Bianca Belair was the only foundational Black American that wrestled in Saudi Arabia, and she lost. Survivor Series 2023. Bianca Belair was the only melanated and foundational Black American woman that wrestled, and she wrestled in a War Games multi-person match. The Royal Rumble, and I don't count these. When I bring these facts up to white folk, I don't count these because you got these people throwing away in throwaway matches. So I don't necessarily count the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. But for this program's sake, I am. For the WrestleMania, for the Royal Rumble 2024, there were no melanated or Black American people on the undercard, which is important. More important than the Royal Rumble. I probably would have been more inclined to want to include the Royal Rumble if they weren't on the undercard. But it's so much to try to explain and keep it in context. There were none on the undercard, and the Black American people that represented Black Americans in the Royal Rumble was Naomi, Bianca, and that's it. And Jade Cargill represented Jade Cargill, Jamaican represented melanated people. And then for the men, it was Carmelo. And then that was the only Black American in the entire Royal Rumble. And then you had Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is a Ghanaian. He's from Ghana, and he represented the melanated people. So even in the Royal Rumble, to where they have 30 men, and then in the other Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble, to where they have 30 women, there were only one, two foundational Black Americans that wrestled. I'm sorry, three, with Naomi, Bianca, oh, the Street Profits. I forgot they go as two. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. So that's 4, 5 that wrestled in or in the actual Royal Rumble. But again, that's a throwaway match, especially when they didn't even have an opportunity, and we knew it to win. Um, the next pay per view is Elimination Chamber. Where am I at? Okay, here we go. Elimination Chamber 2024 under Triple H. Bianca Belair and Naomi were in the Elimination Chamber match itself, and Naomi, the foundational Black American, was the first one eliminated. But those two women did represent foundational Black Americans in the at Elimination Chamber. Bobby Lashley represented melanated people at the Elimination Chamber. There was no foundational Black American represented. There was only one uh, melanated person representing the men. On WrestleMania, which I don't count a game because this is throwaway matches, but I'm gonna get through this. R-Truth did genuinely win the WWE Tag Team Championship with The Miz, a white man. But that is his tag team partner. He did win the WWE Tag Team Championship in the ladder match that did feature the New Day. It was a 6-team ladder match. And the New Day, Kofi Kingston or Ghanaian, and Xavier Woods, the foundational Black Americans, they were the only, R-Truth and Kofi Kingston were the only two foundational Black Americans that represented foundational Black Americans men on night one. On the women's side, you had Bianca, Naomi, and Jade represent foundational Black American women, and Jade represented the melanated. On night two, you had Bobby Lashley representing the melanated, and you had Angelo Dawkins and um, Montez Ford representing the foundational Black Americans, and Bobby Lashley representing the native. Those were the only Black people that melanated, dark skinned people were at WrestleMania on night two. We only had two represent us on the biggest night. King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, you only had Bianca Belair and Jade, and they won the tag team championship. Those were the only melanated and foundational Black American representing us again. No foundational Black American men. At Clash of the Castle 2024, you had Bianca Belair and Jade lose the tag team championship. This was the month after the last one that I made. And then you had no foundational Black American men representing us, no melanated men representing melanated people. And Money in the Bank, you had Carmelo Hayes representing foundational Black American people and melanated, and he lost in a throwaway. Money in the Bank didn't have a chance of winning. SummerSlam, a year after Triple H took reign, there was not a single foundational Black American man or woman that wrestled on the program. So this push with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill wasn't represented at the second biggest pay-per-view. And then you had Bash at Berlin, which was just this Sunday, as to where the only foundational Black American that wrestled on the program was Bianca Belair, and you had the melanated Jamaican Jade Cargill win the WWE Tag Team Championship, and we are here where we are today. Barry, are you able to come up real quick? Well, we're trying to see if I can get him up real quick. Specifically are non-existent. So you notice, if you look at the trend of these PLEs, you see that foundational Black American men specifically are non-existent. How you doing?